Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot of time. Give me fuel, give me fire, give me double shot of time.
I definitely think we're in for quite the treat here from the Autodrome de Paris. This track is always definitely through some very fun racing across all the different series here in Fuel. Like we're mentioning, it was an absolute spectacle here in the Fuel Super Speedway series, and I guess tying into that, of course, this track likes to race a lot like a super speedway, so we see a lot of close racing here at a track like this. And of course, yeah, while you did mention that while the champion is decided at this point, all bets are pretty much off at this point. So we're here to just have some fun here from Paris, and I'm sure that's definitely what we will see tonight. So got one more win up for grabs, and it'll be interesting to see who does end up going to victory lane here from Paris. There's still definitely a lot up for grabs as we look on down the point standings. And of course, like we're talking about, still got one win up for grabs. And sure, there's a lot of drivers that are potentially looking at that as a potential opportunity, considering this is a super speedway race. And we know how much parity can come with races such as this. So just about anybody in this field could potentially walk away with his race victory. And like I said, it'll be interesting to see who we do see. Interesting to see what all does shake out in this race, but it's going to be interesting to see what kind of factors we see here tonight. But yeah, you're talking about a lot of these paint schemes. Definitely cool to see a lot of these main teams ripping around this racetrack. Of course, like you mentioned, you got the Pokemon theme. A lot of great looking race cars out there here tonight, going to be ripping around this racetrack. Like I said, we're definitely in for quite the fun night.
And we definitely are, as thank you, Tyler, for sending me a DM and telling me that I am muted. So, unfortunately, reinstall, updating OBS has really kind of screwed things up here a little bit, but glad to have everybody tuning in here. I'm sorry that was I was unfortunately muted, but taking a look at the point standings after race number 10. Got Apollo Hyde and Vincenzo Focusata with the top two. And they have locked up the top two positions with Emmy Schizzato, Taylor Stillworthy, and RJ Bishop are going to be fighting for that final third spot. For Emmy Schizzato, it would be the highest that she would ever finish in a championship, and considering she was fighting to be inside the top 10 last season in season number 7, for her to be up at the front here in season 8 would be incredible to try to get a podium finish. We've also got Crystal Bennett and Blake Warren tied for 10th. So whoever gets the better of those two is likely going to have be in a position to get the job done here tonight, to be top 10 in the point standings. Of course, Blake going over some technical difficulties right now, just like we were. But now that I've got my microphone fixed, well, once again, we'll redo the brief intro we've got here as we welcome you to the Lumiose City 232K, live from the Autodrome de Paris here on the North American Sim Racing Network. Trey Wright and Caleb Rose on the call, as we have had a hop and a skip across the pond to the nation of liberty, equality, fraternity, and for tonight, automobility. And like we were saying, Season 8 coming to a close here tonight, and while the championship has been mathematically claimed by Apollo Hyde, we've still got the one race left up our sleeve at this track that is the virtual successor, or the European counterpart, if you will, to the modern-day Atlanta Motor Speedway. And it's ironic, this is a reskin of the 1997 version of the Atlanta Motor Speedway, but with a little bit more banking, and you're in the throttle pretty much the entire time. And this is really going to make things very interesting. It's going to be very interesting for all these drivers, as 15 cars have put a lap down so far here, as we've got a minute to go in practice. We'll probably see Tate Dorsey and maybe Matthew Wright pop in later on. But we are in for a fun one, as we always are. And what a season it has been here, Caleb, with everything that we have had going on. It's hard to believe that 11 weeks have just flown by at the snap of a finger and the drop of a hat, and we're already at the Season 8 finale, as Kenny Campos going up into the air as he T-bones Ike Durbin. That's how you know that we are ready to set these guys and gals down for qualifying. But what can you really say, Caleb, about the season we have had so far? A very diverse schedule, and overall just a fantastic 8th season here, and we'll move on to Season 9 shortly.
It would be a fuel session without an airborne practice crash, but yeah, it's definitely been quite a fun season here for the Fuel Grain National Series. Like you mentioned, it's honestly flown by really, really quickly, but we've definitely had a lot of fun with this season, week in, week out. We've seen a lot of great battles, we've seen a lot of great storylines, and overall a pretty interesting championship battle, which a lot of people may argue it might have been a bit boring being decided a week early, and we could probably potentially digress. It was definitely a lot of fun seeing all these guys rip around all these different racetracks. But still, like I said, still got one more winner to decide here tonight, so it's going to be interesting to see who does close out this final chapter here in season number 8 of the Fuel Grand National Series. Could be potentially anybody in this field, so we'll have to see who does end up getting the last footnote here for season 8.
Will certainly be fun as we're up into qualifying. Emmy Schizzato, top of the charts in practice with a 26.111, 14 cars putting down a time. As we're going to go ahead and get the server reset here in just one moment. That should put everybody back into play here going into qualifying. And we'll get things situated here with about 15 people in the server so far. A pretty stacked field. Of course, you've got a ton of talent here with Taylor Stillworthy, Tyler Stallhood, Connor Edwards, of course, Apollo Hyde, and Emmy Schizzato. And RJ Bishop, he's been really good on the big tracks as well. And a handful of other people. I don't think that we're going to see Blake Warren here tonight. which is a shame because he has been on and off here. It's been a season of attrition so far for Blake here in 2026. Of course, all the health issues that he has been going under, but he has been able to weather his own storm and try to get things going. And unfortunately, it looks like Crystal Bennett might have a golden opportunity to get a top 10 points result in that 84 car. But nobody has taken a lap just yet here in Q, and we are expecting guys like Taylor Stolworthy, like Emmy Schizzato, and like Trek Togger and Tyler Stallhood to be up towards the front here at these super speedways. They are the guys and gals that love these big tracks, and same thing for Crystal Bennett, her only fuel win coming at Talladega last season in the Ash Industries Silver Screen Showdown in that Mike Skinner 84 car. We'll see what she's able to do here in Q. But first and foremost, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to every race that we have had here this season and every race that we have produced so far. It's hard to believe, Caleb, it's been nearly a year since we have officially been carrying fuel racing league races here on the North American Sim Racing Network. You got to go back to the Daytona race all the way on 4th of July weekend, and it's hard to believe we're already nearly a week and a half out from May. And we're going to be celebrating the 1-year anniversary of working with the Fuel Racing League. And we've already covered 2.5 seasons so far as Apollo Hyde jumps to the top of the charts in qualifying with 1:10 to go. But it has been a fun ride so far, and we're only just getting things started here.
Definitely. It's hard to believe that much time has passed, but honestly, you really come to know that time usually tends to fly by, and we've definitely seen it so far with the tenure here in the Fuel Grand National Series, and it's been a lot of fun throughout these past couple of months being up here to co-comment these races with you. It's been an absolute blast from the very start, and hard to believe we're already closing in here on the end of Season 8 of the Fuel Grand National Series, and hey, still got the rest of the Sportsman Series and Season 9 to look forward to after this as well. So we're still absolutely far from done. But it's going to be fun to see how this season will close out and how it does transfer into the next season. But it's definitely been a blast so far, and definitely, I'm sure we got a lot more memories to make as we head to the future.
We definitely do, and Vincenzo Focasato with 10 seconds to go in qualifying looks to be jumping to the top of the boards at the moment with a 26.557. We'll see if anybody is able to bet. We got 10 drivers that put down a time of the 15, the 14 that are going to take laps here tonight. And Vincenzo Focasato is going to sit on the pole position here tonight in after qualifying. We'll get the starting lineup graphic for you here in just one moment. But how about that for Vin, who was in the running here in the final race of the Super Speedway Series a couple of months ago. He definitely knows his way around Autodrome de Paris, Caleb.
Definitely nice to see the pole there for Vincenzo Focasato and Apollo Hyde, of course, they're qualifying on the outside pole position. Definitely a very stacked front row here as we head into tonight. But yeah, like I mentioned, Tyler Stallhood, definitely watch out for that 7 car here tonight. Of course, like you mentioned, your Super Speedway Series winner last time we were at this very racetrack, and qualifying on the inside row number 2. So yeah, he's definitely going to be one to watch out for here in this race. But like I was talking about pre-race, you see these super speedway races, just how much parity they can have. So I'd say just about anybody here could win this race, and it'll be interesting to see who does walk away with the win. But so there's definitely a lot of cars up there towards the front to keep your eyes out on. To see if they do potentially stay up there towards the front, or if we do see a lot of shuffling like we did see in that Super Speedway Series race.
We'll get you to the practice session here in just a couple of moments as we get things underway. But Vincenzo Focasato and Apollo Hyde, top 2 in the championship standings, are going to be on the front row. But you go back to all these races we have had so far this season, Caleb. It has been a blast. And what have your season highlights been so far here in Season 8?
Like I said, we've definitely had a lot of fun races from start to finish. We've seen a lot of great moments between a lot of our front runners in the championship. Definitely, as far as highlights go, just looking a few weeks ago where we saw that Bonsai 3-wide pass by Dunlop there. I believe it was in Las Vegas, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was.
That was an absolutely incredible move that pretty much left my jaw on the floor pretty much that entire evening. But that's just one of many good moments we've had so far throughout this season. And like I was talking about, while it did end up bit early, that championship battle was definitely fun to watch as we did see it progress on a week by week basis. And Apollo High definitely deserving of that championship. Apollo's had a great season up to this point, and while it's been a bit rough on them at times, she has absolutely rose to the occasion on a week by week basis, even through some trials and tribulations. And it's definitely been a very, very fun season to watch for that 100 machine. It all comes close tonight. Have to see how they do end up performing here tonight, but definitely can't count Apollo Hyde out no matter the circumstances.
You definitely can, and it's ironic, though. You were always talking about that during the stream yesterday. You know, the trials and tribulations we were talking about for Apollo Hyde was pretty much just, hey, she hasn't been to victory lane, but she has been getting those second-place finishes. She's been getting those podium finishes, and she's been really doing well in the point standings. But just trying to get that win has been a little bit of an issue for her. But she's won the last 2 races, trying to end Season 8 on a high note, trying to get that 9th win of the year. But overall, she has been really, really, really good so far here in this 2026 season. So far, we still have a couple of segments to go, but overall, things could not be better in the Apollo Hyde camp. And, you know, with Taylor Stolworthy as that development driver for Marvelous Racing, you know, we'll see what he's been able to do here in 2026 as we'll get things going here with about 5 minutes to go, 6 minutes to go here in Happy Hour. But here is how everybody will line up here for tonight. We're actually going to get the graphic a little bit further down, and there we go. So Vincenzo Focasato is going to sit on the pole position for tonight's 80-lap race. Apollo Hyde rounding out the front row. Tyler Stallhood and Taylor Stolworthy will make up row 2, and Emmy Schizzato and Grant Warren will round out the starting 6. Pick and choose where your favorite driver is starting, as RJ Bishop and Kenny Campos are going to round out the 7 rows of the 14 cars that will race in tonight. Doesn't look like we're going to reach our season high of 20 cars racing the server that was hit last week. And Caleb, you and I were talking a little bit before we went live. That was a little bit frustrating for me to be, you know, the one week that we're not doing a live stream, as I was on the road down in Hickory, North Carolina 1 week ago helping out the Rise Racing program with their Kansas race. It's a little frustrating not only to be not there for, you know, the biggest field of the season and what turned out to be a fantastic race on the plains of Kansas over at the Kansas Speedway, but I also missed the debut of my little brother Matthew last week, as he unfortunately money shifted along with Tim DeLay Jr. at the beginning of that race. But we did get the tape delay stream yesterday. That was a lot of fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight. It's Connor Edwards, top of the charts in Happy Hour thus far, with 10 drivers putting down a lap. Emmy Schizzato is going to body that powered 02 machine. And Ike Durbin's just going to do Ike Durbin things as we are ready to go racing. But taking a look at the race analysis for this evening, it's going to be 125 miles, so 232 kilometers here at the Autodrome de Paris, which is going to make up 80 laps. Of course, the point of no return is going to be lap 76. And we got 24 degrees of banking in the corners. Again, this is a reskin of old Atlanta pre-1998 before the old quad oval configuration. That fuel window for these guys about 38 to 40 laps, so right about the halfway point. Caleb, that's going to make things very interesting in terms of pit strategy for these drivers. And of course, you see the shape of the track, the exact same as old Atlanta. And that's going to be a very, very interesting thing for these guys to try to navigate, is not only in the super speedway type racing deal, but also just trying to manage your tires, trying to manage your fuel. And God forbid if this race goes caution-free, which Kenny Campos does a backflip a la Carson Quapple the other day at Kansas. It's going to make things very interesting. It always is. You never know what you're going to get here at these Fuel Grand National races, especially on the super speedways.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't really know what to expect here at a super speedway such as this. Definitely not usually a conventional speedway, like to say, kind of just a reskin of Atlanta 97 with a bit higher banking to accommodate these higher speeds. So it'll be interesting to see how it does end up playing out here in tonight's race. So definitely imagine the tire wear a lot higher than your normal super speedway, and the fuel use will definitely be a thing to watch out for if this does go green. Is Ike Durbin, the 86, going airport?
What
I don't
else
know
is
how
new?
many cars
Oh,
exactly has gone
Crystal.
airport here in quarter practice as Stallworthy and Bennett get into it there off a turn at number 4. But regardless of the fact, it's going to be interesting to see how this race does shake out. But like we always say about super speedway races, you got to expect the unexpected, and you know what to expect here at a track like this.
Well, there's something we do know what to expect is the season schedule for next season, as we'll take a look at the projected Season 9 schedule down at the bottom left-hand side of your screen. We got 12 races, 11 of them for points, and we're going to get things kicked off with the All-Star race for 2026. It's unfortunately still going to be at the Dover Motor Speedway, but unlike the current day Cup cars, these Grand National cars are a little bit better than the bona fide IMSA cars that we've gotten. That's really an insult to IMSA with the current Cup cars that we've gotten, these next-gen monstrosities. But enough complaining on that front. We got the All-Star race at Dover. That's going to be on May 13th, so only in a handful of weeks after a brief break here between seasons 8 and 9. We'll get the season kicked off down at the Charlotte Motor Speedway on Memorial Day weekend, and then a couple of days later we travel a little bit northwest to the Nashville Super Speedway for the band affiliation race. So we're going to see a lot of band paint schemes on the Nashville Super Speedway concrete. Then we go up north to the Irish Hills to Michigan, and then we go to my home track, the Pocono Raceway, on Wednesday, June 10th. Then we go out to California to the streets of Long Beach. That's going to be a blast for our only street race of the year, if I'm not mistaken. You remember we had the Chicago street course last year. That went over swimmingly for these drivers. And speaking of swimmingly, Bentwig Raceway is going to make its Grand National debut. That was my contribution to the 2026 schedule. That's going to air on Wednesday, June 24th. Then we go to the Chicagoland Speedway to the return to the classic curved D oval track up in Joliet. Then we go to the Anchorage Speedway on July 8th. North Wilkesboro will grace the schedule on Wednesday, July 15th. And then we go to the Brickyard, Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the 22nd for race number 10 of the season. And then we end things up in Newton, Iowa at the Iowa Speedway on Wednesday, July 29th for the full 12-race slate for season number 9 of the Fuel Grand National Series. It's hard to believe that season 9 is just around the corner and season 10 is right on the horizon. But we've got to finish season number 8 first as Connor Edwards, top of the charts in Happy Hour. But Vincenzo Focasato, the top of the charts in qualifying, and as he is going to wreck his Millennium Autosport teammate. We're going to go ahead and get things kicked off here in just a couple of moments for the season 8 finale. Across the pond here at Autodrome de Paris for tonight's running of the Lumiose City 232K here in just a couple of moments here on the North American Sim Racing Network. Glad to have everybody aboard for what's going to be a fantastic race. Cars on the front straightaway, down the pit lane, ready to turn them on and grid them up as we'll send things down trackside for the most famous words in motorsports. To fire the engines for race number 11 of season number 8 to the Lumiose City 232K here at the Autodrome de Paris here tonight.
Drivers, start your engines.
And we are ready to rock and roll for 232 kilometers tonight, and it's Vincenzo Focusato trying to get his second win of the season in that Momo Mazda from Millennium Autosport. Starting the outside of the official champion with a start here tonight is Apollo Hyde on the outside of row number 1. And back in row number 2, we've got Tyler Stallhood, the most recent winner here across the pond in Paris, with Taylor Stolworthy, the Triple S Super Speedway Series champion. On the outside of row number 2, Emmy Schizzato rounding out the top 5, and Grant Warren looking for his first career win, starting up in that 6th spot in car number 37. The 14 cars on the grid for tonight's 80-lapper. We are in for a good one tonight. 80 laps going on the board. All these drivers ready to rock and roll for one final time here in the 8th season of competition for the Fuel Grand National Series. Caleb, these guys are ready to pull these belts tight one more time. We got a pretty good race on our hands here tonight.
We got a fun one indeed, and Focusato, Apollo Hyde here gonna lead us here into the restart zone. We're green here from Paris. Boogie Boogie, let's close the Season 8 championship out with a bang here in the Grand National Series.
Pretty much a dream start for Apollo Hyde off the opening jump, as Taylor Stolworthy is going to fight on the outside, trying to make Millennium Autosport, rather Marvelous Racing, go 1-2. But the Millennium Autosport Mazda of Vincenzo Focusato down the low side. What a move out of Tyler Stolhood. Pretty much taking the front end off the 97 of Emmy Schizzato. But it's Apollo Hyde right back to where she has been for the majority of this season so far. And here on lap number 2, Hyde out front, Focusato in the back. Got Ike Durbin playing it safe a little bit. Same thing with R.J. Bishop. Got a lot of pretty good storylines up through here as Tyler Stolworthy nearly in the middle of 3 wide. Tyler Stolhood trying to thunder his way down to the low side. And these guys absolutely blitzing their way around the track. We got single file for the opening handful of corners as we got to go all the way back to the battle for about 6th here. Trek Togger a little bit loose on the inside. Rich Roy trying to move past him on the outside, and away up the track goes Stolhood. He's able to just gather it. Emmy Schizzato. Schizzato looking to be in pretty good shape for the time being in that battle for that 3rd spot in the championship. Remember, it would be the best season result for her in that 97 machine, being sponsored by Bulbasaur for the REM, the Rafaela Emmy Motorsports Ford. Rafaela Sorensen up the racetrack a little bit in the 09 and nearly took the front bumper there, off by the 84 as Crystal Bennett got tight going through the corner. With the start here tonight, Crystal Bennett will officially lock up 10th in the point standings. So a top 10 result for that 84 Dodge Charger. As the Lap Car Enterprises team able to get top 10 in the point standings, but Marvelous Racing wants to have 1 and 3 potentially. Here comes that one machine of Taylor Stolworthy. They're 1 and 3 on the track, and they want a 1-3 finish in the point standings. Stallhood up on the outside lane, doesn't have a whole lot of room. Doesn't have a whole lot of help either, as now Stolworthy down to the low side. A little bit of help there from Sorensen. Make that Schizzato. Ooh, gonna touch the paint a little bit there. Just tapping the banking. Tap, tap, tapping it like it's Chubbs Peterson, and she's gonna fall back to 5th.
They're already getting real racing behind our race leader, Apollo Hyde, right now, as the field already kind of closing together, kind of drafting up to one another, and definitely already seeing some great racing early on here in the going. A lot of close quarters racing as Stolworthy and Stallhood still side by side. The 7 trying to squeeze Stolworthy on the bottom as Schizzato a bit loose there off of turn at number 4. Blocks the bottom, puts the 33 of Grant Warren up on the top side. He's going to try and diamond the corner down low. Stolworthy still side by side with Stallhood, also trying to get to the inside simultaneously. of the 37 of Focusado is getting a real good push down the backstretch there from the 7 install. And getting over 200 miles an hour down the straight. And is barely getting under it. So yeah, these guys are absolutely ripping around this racetrack. And it's definitely making for some fun racing already here early on in the going here from Paris.
Yeah, we've got a ton of fun racing as we look off the back end of Apollo Hyde at just the Hornet's Nest developing behind that 100% orange juice Mazda. Double file, a couple of instances of tandem drafting, but Schizzato bugging in and out there a little bit. That's that net coding issue that we were talking about last week. You go back 2 weeks ago to the controversy at Canandaigua between Apollo Hyde and Nick Gunther. Forgot to make an official graphic talking about the new rule, but when it comes to claiming cautions, now netcode can count as a racing incident where nobody will be dogged with an EOL penalty. So that's going to be a game changer, especially for some drivers with a little bit spotty internet there, particularly with the 1 and the 97 car as well as those two. A little bit in and out here the way they're running. Just a little bit bugging in and out as Stolhood is going to drop back a little bit. He's all the way down on the white paint. And he's going to fall outside of the top 5. Brent Warren, speaking of the top 5, he's up into that 5th spot. How about Connor Edwards with a top 10 run right now as he and Trek Togg are dogfighting? Look, there are a couple of P51s. And Edwards going to swap down to the low side, trying to draft off the back end of the 7. Gets a little bit tight to the center of 1 and 2. Now that has allowed these top 5 cars to break away from one another, with one another, I should say. But it's been Apollo Hyde for the opening 11 laps of this race for car number 100. You go back to a lot of these super speedway races, Caleb. You have not been very kind to Miss Apollo Hyde, particularly the real-life super speedways of Daytona and Talladega. But you also go to Grand Junction, Albuquerque, and here at Paris. Haven't been very kind to her. She was involved in 1 or 2 incidences back in the Super Speedway Series finale. But of course, that's on fixed setup where everybody has pretty much got an equal chance of joining in here. But overall, or getting the win and just having a pretty good run. But now once we've got this open setup, everybody, or the cream is really going to rise to the top, and that's exactly what we're seeing here out of Apollo Hyde. She's got a really good setup as Stolworthy jumps out of line. He got a little tight through the center of 3 and 4, and that might cost him a podium. And we got 1 car around, and it's Connor Edwards spinning sideways. And the yellow flag is going to fly as Connor Edwards having some sort of issue as Ike Durbin and RJ Bishop have left the server. I'm not sure if Ike maybe... Not sure what happened there with the... What happened there, but... Caution number 1 is going to fly on the speedway. And Connor Edwards breaking sideways a little bit. I think Ike Durbin may have... Yeah, he fell out of the server. So a little bit of a slow start there for Durbin. I think he might be put back on the lead lap. But 14 laps into this green flag run, and we'll see these guys come down the pit lane here, and we indeed are. It's going to be feed-in time here on the service area for the opening time. Trek Togger is going to stay out. He's going to get 2 bonus points for leading a lap. Here they come down the pit lane, following along with the 100 machine. Perfectly into her pit stall, and I imagine 4 fresh Goodyear tires going all the way around that 100 car. A couple of Bridgestones going all the way around that 37 machine as well, I imagine. That's going to be the first one out, or is she? And she will. A little tight there between the 37 and the 1, as those two are going to remain 2nd and 3rd coming off of the pit lane, and pretty much everybody is going to remain where they were. Actually, Rich Roy's going to pick up a spot over Grant Warren, so that will put 29 machine inside the top 5. We'll grab a look at what happened here to put us under the caution flag here in just one moment, as we're going to recalibrate our ticker here for a brief second. Forgot to recalibrate our ticker right before the green flag happened, so that should help things out a little bit here. But as Connor Edwards is going to come off of the pit lane, and we'll officially take a look at what happened. And here is the 0-2 up the racetrack, goes around, and yeah, just a little bit of contact with Stallhood is going to constitute that as a multi. And Edwards running the ragged line up on the top line a little too hard, Caleb, and that's going to result in a spin, and the subsequent contact is going to result in the first multi-car incident of the night.
Too close there to that outside wall and kind of just sucked him around there in the O2 machine off of turn number 4. So a really tough break there for the O2 Connor Edwards. Definitely not the way that he probably wanted to start out this race. However, is still going, is still on the lead lap. So have to see if he can maybe recover from that accident. But still got a long way left to go in this race, but already just about 20 laps in. So this thing does go green. This could potentially fly by.
Yeah, we only got 80 laps on the board, and we're already burning through about a quarter of the way through this race. Ike Durbin's got the fastest lap on the board, a 26.231. By the looks of it there for the driver of the 86, who is currently 3 laps down based on some issues getting onto the track. And or is everybody going to come back down the pit lane to try and top off here? We're gonna
some aren't.
So the strategy is going to be splitting itself like an atom here on lap number 19.
Interesting.
You know what? I don't hate this strategy by all these guys. So we got what, 4? We got 6 cars coming down the pit lane. Just topping off on gas. You know what? I don't hate this because we're gonna have probably 60 laps to go. No, we're gonna have 61 to go this next time by. I think these guys with that pit stop should mathematically be able to do this race in one more stop. I think with the caution flags the caution laps that we've had so far, they should be able to do it with one stop anyway, but I think they want a little bit more insurance because, again, you know, at a super speedway like this, Caleb, track position is going to come really easy for a lot of these guys. I really don't hate that strategy of giving yourself a little bit of insurance.
Super speedways are definitely a track where you kind of got to think long-term, so I definitely don't hate the strategy either for a lot of those guys that didn't come in and top off, and also, I don't really hate the strategy for the guys that stayed out either, because we know how chaotic super speedway racing can get. So we'll have to see how it does. I'll end up shaking out, but got a lot of new faces up here towards the front of the field. It's going to be Rich Roy and Grant Warren leading us to the green here on lap number 20. So quarter of the way here through Paris. It's definitely interesting restart there. Look at somebody.
We got Hopfiel around.
No.
Same thing with Togger, and that is immediately going to put us back under the caution flag.
I thought I saw somebody blink out there on the inside lane, and I believe that was Rafaela Sorensen. It restarted P3.
Just jamming up a little bit on the start, and that is going to send her to the back. And, well, cautions breed cautions. And that's going to give Rich Roy some pretty good track position for the most part. Again, everybody is going to be on the same set of tires. And with these caution laps, I think now everybody that stayed out should be able to still mathematically make it to the end on a single stop. Or we'll see if the top 4 will come back down the pit lane this next time by. But that is, you got to feel bad for Hopfiel, Caleb. She was running in 3rd at the time, but she just really didn't go off of the start. And we are going to get some takers. We are going to get more takers. We're going to get Apollo Hyde coming back down.
Dickens.
Hyde is going to come down. I think she's going to I don't know what she's thinking right now. Well, she's not really racing for anything. She's already got the championship locked up. You know what? You might as well, you want a strategy? You might as well mess around with a strategy, and that is unfortunate. We got one car going the wrong direction as the two league admins are going to bump off to the pit lane.
Gonna whip that thing back around, and he's good.
No harm, no foul. Unfortunately, that was a little bit of a maverick pit road exit, if you will. It looks like Rich Roy's going to drop to the back in the 29, and we'll see if anybody else will come down. I think Vincenzo Focasato, he might come back down to top off. Because Roy is dropping all the way to the rear. We had a handful of cars stay out. We had Stolworthy and Grant Warren staying out on track, as looks like Grant is going to come down, and you know what? But better to be safe than sorry later on. And he will be a lonely car that will come down the pit lane. He is going to get 2 bonus points for leading a lap. But that'll put Taylor Stolworthy in the driver's seat as well. And Stolworthy will pace around the field, will grab a look at what happened right off of that initial restart there between the 09 and the 60. And that was really not what you wanted. And yeah, we're going to follow along here with the 60 and see what Trek saw from his vantage point. That was just an unfortunate situation. We're going to start all the way from the back on the restart. You're going to watch this 09 car. You're going to watch it disappear as Tolliger didn't get going himself. Yeah, Hoffiella is nowhere to be found, and then that's a jump scare. I don't think Trek had no idea that Hoffiella was going to be there inside of 3 wide. And unfortunately, wrong place, wrong time, and caught the quarter panel of that 09 machine and turned that car around. Tough situation, especially since Trek was restarting in 6th, but he's going to be all the way back in about 13th. About maybe 11th, I would say. But that is the way the music goes here sometimes in Fuel, and that netcode can really come into play sometimes here, Caleb.
Definitely, that might just be the most they came out of nowhere accident I think I might have ever seen. But yeah, really tough break there for Hoffiella Sorensen and Trek Togger, but yeah, nothing really that either of them could do in that situation. Definitely got to really feel for the both of them. Going to set Trek Togger here behind the 8 ball, and Hoffiella Sorensen, I think, did drop out of the server, and I don't know if they are back on track at least yet, so really tough break for those two there.
Yeah, trying to see where Hoffiella is. As Rich Roy, he's going to put on 4 fresh Goodyears and rejoin the field probably around turns 3 and 4, trying to get a little bit of a jump on the grid. But right now, by the looks of it, we've got 11 cars still in the server. No, we got 12. We got Ike Durbin. He's still 3 laps down after missing the start of the race. But he is going to be in the lucky dog spot here. So, hey, 3 quick cautions. He should be able to get a couple of laps back. Taylor Stolworthy going to choose the outside lane. Vincenzo Focasato is going to choose the inside. That is a bold strategy for Stolworthy. But you know what? The season finale, full of bold strategies, and green flag back out in the air. Here we go. On lap number 25 of the season finale, and Stolworthy utilizing that outside lane out like a rocket. And we'll see how long it is until Apollo Hyde is able to carve her way through the field. Starting pretty deep all the way back in 7th, and she's already trying to pick off Connor Edwards. Edwards bouncing all the way around in that Bauer Fly Pro hockey equipment machine. Bennett into the outside wall, and she's going to lose a handful of spots. Edwards on the banking a little bit, and here comes the 100 slingshotting on the outside, and meanwhile the top 5 all starting to break away from one another. You got Focusato getting a little help from behind from Schizzato. Stolworthy right now in a really good position at the moment to potentially take that 3rd spot away in the championship. Again, you look at the top 3 in the standings. The top 2 spots have already been taken over, but Emmy Schizzato currently holds that by only about 30 points over Taylor Stolworthy, a little bit less than about 30 points. Actually about 24 points over Taylor Stolworthy, as Schizzato dropping back a little bit here. Stolworthy, if he's able to lead a little bit more, he would make that battle for that final podium spot in the point standings pretty interesting. The longer we go on and the longer that he leads laps, he's led 6 laps on the evening so far. One of 3 different leaders, 4 different leaders, making 5 different leaders we've had a couple of guys lead a single lap under the green flag stops, as Connor Redwood's blinking in and out a little bit there. But Tyler Stolhood creeping up right behind that one machine. It's the Stolworthy and Stolhood show for the time being. They're both going to drop their left side tires down on the white line. Those two doing a little bump drafting. You gotta be careful at a track like this, and Kenny Campos goes up the hill, nearly gets into Schizzato. They're able to keep it straight for the moment. Apollo Hyde a little squirrely off of 4, and we've got some really damn good racing here across the pond in Paris, Caleb. This has been so much fun to watch.
Look at this up at the front. Tyler Stolhood trying to go around the outside. He's got Focusato to help him. And he's poking ahead here as we head into turns 3 and 4. Still with the 37 behind him. They stay side by side. The track just a little bit goes to one of Taylor Stolworthy, but Stolhood's going to clear on the outside lane. Stolhood now up into the race lead. I believe he's probably 6th different leader today, if I'm not mistaken. And Stolworthy now down to 2nd. They're side by side for 3rd. Focusato and Emmy Schizzato. They've made their way up into 5th. Campos and Edwards going at it for 6th in the field. Still pretty much all bunched together as gaps too small. Just about a second between 1st and 12th right now of Ike Durbin.
And Durbin back there. He is back on the lead lap, in fact, so he is right back in the thick of things there underneath of his teammate of Rich Roy. All 3 full-time Millennium Autosport cars in the race tonight, and they currently run towards the back. Stolworthy had a moment there going up through 3. He is able to just barely hold on. And that's going to hold up Focusato just a little bit there in that battle with the 100 of Hyde. Polo down to the low side, but Focusato is going to get the run off of the corner. And meanwhile, Emmy Schizzato up to that 2nd spot, and Stolworthy does not want to see that 97 up in front of these guys. Again, with RJ Bishop being well out of the race, he's going to finish in 14th. This battle for this 3rd and final podium spot in the championship is coming right down to the wire between this Texaco Dodge and this Bulbasaur Ford. And the caution flag has come out. Grant Warren and Crystal Bennett have gone around in turn 2. And the yellow flag's gonna fly just 7 laps short of the halfway point in tonight's race.
Boy.
So problems to the opening set of corners. And the lap car Enterprises 84 machine with some pretty significant damage on either end of that car. And same thing for the Arizona Green Team machine, a lot of front end damage on that Warhorse Development Racing Ford Mustang. It's Grant Warren carrying the torch for the Warren brothers here tonight. Facing a lot of damage, and that puts us under the 3rd yellow flag of the night, and that's going to bring everybody down the pit lane. And with 46 laps to go, Caleb, these guys can do about 38 to 40 if we go caution-free, which, I don't know, given the racing that we've seen here and given that these guys are going to be extra aggressive, I don't really know. I really think that, I don't think we're going to get or I think that we are going to get another caution flag. Tyler Stolhood out and away. Did he just take 2 tires? He did. That is a bold strategy, Cotton. As Grant Warren deciding, you know what's, whatever, I'm gonna stay out and lead a lap. Actually, I don't think he led a lap. He's just staying out to stay out for the sake of staying out. So he's probably gonna come down the pit lane this next time by.
You're gonna get pocket a lap extra fuel, which, like you were talking about, a situation like this could make things really interesting if it does go caution free. Definitely going to be a bit of a tall task, though.
We'll see what happened there. Going into turns 1 and 2. Not sure if Crystal just lost it going into 1, and that is a hard shot there. For that 33 machine up the hill, he went head on into the wall, Ryan Blaney style. That 33 machine, I think knocked the cherry blossom petals off of the branch a little bit too much. Fortunately, it is a video game, so Grant is all right, but I'd say that Arizona Ice Tea machine a little too shaken up for their comfort.
That probably took a bit of oomph out of the safer barrier there. That was quite a lick.
Oof. That was less of an oomph, and that was more of an oof there. Taking a really hard shot there was Grant. Fortunately, it looks like he's going to be able to remain in the race. As Rafaela Sorensen has also dropped out of the server with a disconnection. But overall, we're going to get to the halfway point of this race pretty soon. And we're going to go green flag racing here right about now. So Tyler Stolhood is going to be the control car on the outside. He picked the outside lane, and Apollo Hyde right behind him. We got the 2 league admins nose to tail, with Ike Durbin, the other league admin, a little ways behind them. Nemi Schizzato and Vincenzo Focusato are going to be at the front as we're back underway. Approaching the halfway point in tonight's race, and here comes Schizzato down the low side. Ooh, tight going up the track. He's got the outside lane clear, and here comes the 100. Again, that Fruit Bat 100% orange juice Subaru has not gone to victory lane yet this season. In the handful of races that it has been ran here by Apollo Hyde, and she jumped up on the banking. Hit the apron just a little bit and nearly got ran over by the 37 car. Focusato doing his darndest to try to keep a little bit behind that 100 machine as they're side by side for the race lead. Here comes Stolhood down to the low side. Schizzato trying to be that 7th different winner this season up on the outside lane. Same thing with Stolworthy. But it's your Pensacola road course winner, Tyler Stolhood, back out front. Next time by will be halfway. Stolhood looking for 5 bonus points. Leading that the halfway point. Same thing with Schizzato. She's going to get pretty aggressive here. Schizzato knows that she is able to lead this halfway lap. She would essentially lock up 3rd in the standings. But it looks like it's going to be the Pokemon 7 car that's going to lead at the halfway. That's 5 bonus points going to Tyler Stolhood's ambitions. And we are officially halfway home through the season finale. Got 13 drivers. Make that 12 drivers. They want to be the very best, the best that there ever was. We've got 40 laps to decide who is going to be the final winner in season number 8. We've already got the champion decided. That's going to be the driver in 5th right now of Apollo Hyde. Who's going to get that final win of the season? Still very much up in the air. Plenty of meat on the bone remaining in this race, Caleb.
Definitely still a lot left to decide here. As just taking the cross flags here and head into the second half of this race. Tyler Stolhood has definitely had a very quick car in that Subaru and definitely not afraid to be aggressive either. Currently leads the way to number 7, Schizzato. No, we know how much is at stake for that 97 and the 1 for that matter. Both fighting for that 3rd position in the championship, so get potentially pretty heated there behind the number 7 of Tyler Stallhood. Vincenzo Focusato, Apollo Hyde, also behind those two. So we got Kenny Campos up here in the number 17 right now, running in 6th. Ike Durbin having a solid recovery after dropping out of the server in the 86 as he tries to get to the inside of Trek Togger, who's had a nice recovery after that accident. He's now up here fighting in this big battle here for the 7th position. Here comes Rich Roy as well as Connor Edwards. A lot of big stories here in this race just alone, and a lot of them are coming to fruition nicely here as we head into the second half of this race. Still a lot to see how it comes to fruition, but see how it does end up shaking out here in the second half of this race.
Had a pretty good dragon going up on the outside lane. The Stolworthy's got a run on the outside. A little bit of a bump there from the 37. A little bit of a bump and a little bit of a nudge is not exactly what you want to have on a super speedway racing, as here comes a big dragon back going down the back straightaway. Here comes Hyde biding her time. He got Schizzato on the inside, fidgeting there in that Bulbasaur Ford. Hyde gonna make it 3 wide for the race lead. She might. She's got a ledge, but doesn't quite have the momentum. She'll still tucked in behind that 97, and that's gonna run the 1 up the racetrack as Stolworthy a little bit out of the groove there. Nearly getting run over by his mentor right now of Apollo Hyde, and Stolworthy falling back to 5th. And how about Ike Durbin? We were talking about it, how he was 3 laps down after failing to start the race from the grid. He has made his way back inside the top 10. He's made his way inside the top 5. But nothing is yet in this race. If we're talking poker-wise, we've got 3 cards on the field. We have not even gotten to the river. We've not even gotten to the flop yet. We are still very far away from the river card. But overall, Tyler Stolhood looking pretty solid out there. Not sure if he's got a pair of aces, but he's certainly got a pretty high card pair. I don't know why I'm talking about like we're out in Vegas. We're out in Paris. I don't know. He might have some baguettes in Eiffel Towers for all I know. But overall, some fantastic racing here on the high banks of the Autodrome de Paris, coming around to 32 laps to go. Still anybody's race, but I'm loving where that 97 car is sitting right now. Even though Emmy has been really fidgety throughout this run, he's running a very loose setup, and you know what they say, loose is fast and out of control. Emmy has been able to wrangle that Mustang for the majority of this run. You know, coming around to 31 to go, I'm liking where Emmy Schizzato's running right now, Caleb. I think she's going to get her first career points-paying fuel win here tonight, coming around here to 31 to go.
I definitely got to agree with you. I do like how that 97's doing so far in this race. She definitely has a very fast car, and like you said, definitely looking a bit twitchy at times. She's been able to keep it underneath her, at least for the most part. So as soon as I say that, runs a little bit wide there on the turn at number 2, but done a good job in this race and definitely have a fast car. But I'll tell you what, that 7 of Tyler Stallhood has absolutely looked geared up so far in this race, looking to potentially try and get the most laps led, which is probably what Taylor Stolworthy doesn't want to see, considering all the laps they led earlier in the race. But definitely watch out for that 7 car as this race continues to go along. It definitely looks like his croissant is nicely buttered. We've got a fast number 7 Super currently leading the way here so far from Paris.
He definitely is, and he's right now just on the outskirts of the top 5. Schizzato, very loose, was hanging. That 97 car's entire rear end housing off of the corner. She is, up the racetrack. She goes again, nearly into the wall. Does she scrape it?
Might have.
Oh my goodness, and that's gonna bring Apollo Hyde up to 2nd. We were talking about how loose that race car is settled right now, and I think with how much these tires are beginning to wear out, that's starting to play against her. Oh, she was all over the place. And she's being reeled in by that 1 car as well as Stolworthy. He knows his way around this track. Last time we came across the pond to Paris, he was crowned the Super Speedway Series champion of Season 2, and he nearly got bodied there by the 97. 27 laps to go here tonight, and Tyler Stolhood has led 22 of them. make that 23 for car number 7. That Subaru looking pretty good out front, but you can never count out Apollo Hyde, and you can't count out Vincenzo Focusato either. You also can't come out a caution flag late in the running as Connor Edwards up the track. If you remember the last season, Caleb, for the Super Speedway Series, it's Connor Edwards and I want to say Kenny Compost that got together. That brought out the caution flag with just before the point of no return. That set up a one-lap shootout to the end that nearly decided the championship. Of course, it was Taylor Stolworthy that lunges out of line there a little bit in the one car. He was able to win that championship. It was nearly taken away by Trek Tauger at the end. That, of course, this is now Tauger currently running back in 10th, and Stolworthy right now caboose in the top 5. But Apollo Hyde really coming into her own with 24 to go in Season 8 here of the Fuel Grand National Series. And it is getting dicey.
Trying to go for whatever they can, and honestly, we're talking about how that tire wear might really affect that 97. Looks like it's starting to kind of kick into gear for everybody. A lot of guys kind of slip up the racetrack off these corners the past couple times. I think I might have even caught Rich Roy there in 29 catching the outside wall off of turn number 4 just a couple of laps ago. So I think these guys are definitely handling those cars about more than ever at this point. So this race does go caution free. It's going to get quite interesting towards the end as these tires continue to wear out. Looks like it's a lot of these guys up here towards the front of this field.
Yeah, these guys are jockeying all the way around, up and down the racetrack, particularly in the corners. Here comes Apollo. Stolhood way up the track. He nearly got into the marbles. That's going to blow open the door wide open for the 100. Can she power down low? She will be able to. She is clear for the race lead, and Apollo Hyde looking for that 5th win of the season. 21 to go. Still anybody's race, and now up the racetrack, Stolhood riding the lightning. Take a look at what he did. Up the track he goes. He is going to fall outside of the top 5. And with 20 to go this next time by, that tire wear is absolutely coming into play as Gizzato bouncing off the wall off 4. She keeps it straight.
That's definitely kicking into high gear now. Everybody's slipping up the racetrack. Saw that from Stallhood, saw from Gizzato then, and I'm sure it's definitely becoming a bit of a handful for all these other guys as well, but stripped up here at the front now. It's Apollo Hyde leading the way. Focusato up to 2nd, but he slips wide off of turn number 4. That could open up the door for Gizzato. Focusato still got a pretty decent run there off the corner. Still all over the back bumper of that 100 of Apollo Hyde. Apollo Hyde holds on to that race seat for now, and that's kind of stretched these top 6 out from each other, at least for the moment, as Tyler Stallhood especially is kind of dropping back from the rest of the top 5. It looks like he definitely might have lost a lot of momentum there after getting into the outside wall. So really tough break there for him. Have to see if he could potentially catch back up to this top 5, but it's not looking pretty right now for that 7 machine.
Yeah, he is going to need a fantastic pit stop, but what he needs is a caution flag, which we might definitely get one. The way these guys are racing, the way these tires are falling off, like they are paper-thin skin right now. 17 laps to go. Stallworthy way up the track. He's able to grab it. And Ike Durbin inside the top 5 after starting 3 laps down. Trying to give Millennium Autosport a 1-2 or 2/3 of their grid inside the top 5. I think all of their cars inside the top 10 should be good for the moment, as Rich Roy just on the outskirts of the top 10 right now. Kenny Campos all the way down, and here comes Kenny. We saw him dropping down low, and with 16 laps to go, Kenny Campos is going to pull the trigger on the undercut. Is that going to draw anybody else down the pit lane, or is Kenny like, you know what, these tires are screaming right now. Does that bring anybody else down from the lead pack? It doesn't for the top 5. Rich Roy is going to come down. Same thing with Trek Tauger. And here we go. We've got a couple of stragglers in the back. Crystal Bennett having to jump on the brakes coming down the pit lane, and she's going to make what should be her final pit stop with 15 laps to go. I think we got more cars coming down, and here we go. The top 5 drivers all down the pit lane, making the top 6. Coming in hot is Tyler Stolhood. I don't know if he was able to get that car slowed down in time. He was able to pass the 86. He might get a speeding penalty, and that would kill that 7 car. But this is the money stop. 13 laps to go, and Apollo Hyde, I imagine it's going to be 4 tires for literally everybody out on track. Trek Tauger, I think he had a very long pit stop in the 60. Only 2 tires for the 100 as she's been on the outside wall a couple of different times. Everybody just trying to make it to the very end, and everybody going 2 tires by the looks of it. I think Emmy might have taken 4.
Emmy took 4.
And
we got smoke. I don't know where that's from, but no caution.
That may have been Connor Edwards, who was back down the pit lane of the 0-2. Checking to see Tyler Stolhood back there in that 5th spot. I'm guessing that he was. He did not have a speeding penalty, so he should be good to go with 13 laps remaining. And Skizzato did, in fact, take 4 tires. So if we do get a late race restart, which again, we got 13 laps to go. We've got plenty of time before the point of no return, Caleb. Plenty of time for a caution, plenty of time for things to go sideways. If we do get a late race restart, I'm liking that 4-tire call for Skizzato. But she just lost a lot of time to everybody. She needs a caution to come out to stay within this race.
Even though it is late in the race, potential for a caution still looms, but we're going to probably take that for the 97 to get back up to the front, because you can just see how much time they lost there under that pit cycle with taking 4 tires. 5.5 seconds behind our current race leader of Apollo Hyde, but they actually opened up a pretty big lead under that pit cycles, which, considering how much this track races like a super speedway, it's probably not what you want, as it looks like
they're closing in.
And Taylor Stolhood, they're closing. They're bringing Ike Durbin with them as well. And maybe Tyler Stolhood just trying to barely hang on, so I definitely don't think this race for the lead is over quite yet here with just 10 coming and 9 laps to go. It's going to definitely get pretty interesting up here at the front of this field.
Well, they closed it from 1.4 seconds all the way down to 0.3 of a second, so they closed in nearly a second in those last 2 laps, and they are right on the back bumper of that 100. Coming around to 9 laps to go. They're running up on lap traffic. How does Rich Roy try and help his 2 teammates as Focusato up to 2nd? Being pushed there by that 1 machine, and is Roy going to try and help his teammates a little bit out here. You've got his 2 teammates currently running 2nd and 4th right now.
Here comes Focusato.
And here comes Focusato down to the low side. You got Hyde with a teammate with Stolworthy behind her. Oh boy, that was so loose there for Stolworthy. He's just able to grab it. And with 8 laps to go, it's Marvelous Racing versus Millennium Autosport. Right now, all those guys running on one another. Durbin trying to get up to with his teammate, and Focusato nearly getting ran over by the 100.
Oh, look at Stolhood, he's back in this mix.
Tyler Stolhood will not go away. Went up into the outside wall, was able to just barely avoid a speeding penalty, and now he's back within the mix. It's a 5-horse race for the time being. Kenny Campos has dropped way off. Same thing with Emmy Skizzato. She's dropped all the way back from all these drivers. And now up to the race lead, Vincenzo Focusato coming around to 6 laps to go. This is it. If anybody's going to bring out the caution flag and re-rack the field, you got to do it now. Roy on the outside.
up
Here
the
comes the
track.
100 looking to split the gap.
Oh.
She might have a little bit of a run. No, she's going to be way up on the outside. Here comes Ike Durbin up to second. Still plenty of time to go, but count 'em, 5 laps to go. 3 wide for third. Here comes Stolen. He knows that it's the point of no return, and he knows that he is trying to get another win here at Paris. Fulcasato trying to drive that car like he stole it. With Durbin right behind him, Millennium Autosport running 1-2, and I think Durbin might be playing a rear gunner for the time being. Stolworthy back in that podium spot, 4 laps to go. Does Apollo Hyde have enough juice left in that orange juice Mazda? Subaru, I should say. You got the 2 Millennium Autosport Mazdas up here. You got the other Marvelous Racing Dodge. One car nearly around its Crystal Bennett. Wisely able to hold the brake and stay out of the way of everybody else. 3 laps to go. We remain green. Tough break for Bennett, who was running back in 10th. Ooh, Stolworthy, he just barely hangs onto it off of turn 2. And here comes Durbin. He might have a ledge down to the low side of his teammate. Not able to quite get the hammer down, coming around to sticks high in the air. 2 laps remaining in season number 8. Vincenzo Fulcasato driving that Momo Mazda like he stole it from Milan. I think Durbin just trying to hold off Apollo Hyde as much as he can. Lap and a half remaining here at the Paris circuit. All the action happening behind Vincenzo Fulcasato. Durbin trying to play defense. Hyde trying to get that orange juice car to victory lane at least one time this season. White flag in the air. One more time around the Autodrome de Paris. Can Vincenzo Fulcasato hold on? Down the back straightaway for the final time. Up into the outside wall. Ross Chastain in that Subaru is Tyler Stolhood. Ike Durbin. Can he try to take the race win for himself? They're going to be through turns 3 and 4. He's going to peek down to the inside. Fulcasato left the door. Drag race at the line. And Vincenzo Fulcasato by a wheel well is going to take the season finale at Paris. That gap couldn't have been more than a couple hundredths of a second, Caleb. 39 one-thousandths of a second between the Millennium Autosport teammates. Wow.
400ths to be exact.
39 one-thousandths of a second, the closest margin of victory, if I'm not mistaken, this season, and that came right down to the darn wire. And Vincenzo Fulcasato might not have won the championship here tonight, but he won the race in spectacular fashion. He leads 9 laps en route to a fantastic win. His first win on asphalt in quite some time. We got to go all the way back to the Daytona race. You know, it's funny enough, we were talking about, hey, it's been almost a year since the first fuel race that we've produced here on the North American Sim Racing Network, as the race winner and the champion are going to do dual burnouts here on the front straightaway. Vincenzo Fulcasato burning it down as the race winner, and 2 incredible opponents doing some dual burnouts here. The winner and the champion, the drivers that finished 1-2 in the point standings, get the job done. And for Taylor Stolworthy, who finished in 4th, I don't know if that's going to be enough for him to surpass Emi Schizzato. We'll do some quick math here. Because he had, Emmy came in with 701, and Stolworthy came in with 677. Stolworthy is going to get 2 points for leading a lap, 2 bonus points there. I believe Skizato should hold on here. Just barely with a 6th place finish. Stallworthy finished in 4th. That'll give him 82 points. And I don't think that's going to be that close. I think Emi Skizato should hold up here with this championship. And I believe she indeed will. And she will by 30 points. Emi Skizato will get the bottom step on the podium in the championship. But taking a look at your official results for tonight's race, Vincenzo Focasato leads 9 laps en route to his 2nd win of the season. Ike Durbin by 39 1/1000ths of a second finishes in 2nd. Apollo Hyde, the champion, finishes 3rd. We'll hear from these three drivers in our post-race interviews. Taylor Stallworthy and Tyler Stallhood round out the top 5. Emi Skizato, Kenny Campos, Grant Warren, Trek Togger were the 9 other cars that finished on the lead lap. Rich Roy and Connor Edwards were each a lap down. It was a valve issue that took Crystal Bennett out, a disconnection issue for Rafaela Sorensen, and RJ Bishop was the 14th and final driver in tonight as he failed to finish this race as he quit the race, or retired from the race after 8 laps in the event here tonight. But we're going to go ahead and go downstairs here. That's not the correct post-race graphic that we want to throw up. As there we go. We're going to go ahead and send things downstairs here in just a couple of moments for post-race interviews. We'll hear from the podium after a fantastic race here tonight in Paris. Vincenzo Focasato winning in dramatic fashion over his Millennium Autosport teammate. We'll be back here in just a couple moments. Season number 8 of the Fuel Grand National Series has come to a close, and it couldn't come in more dramatic fashion as the Millennium Autosport teammates of Vincenzo Focusato and Ike Durbin going side by side at the start-finish line to end things off here in an absolute barn burner of a race tonight across the pond in Paris on tonight's coverage of the season finale of the Fuel Grand National Series Season 8 here on the North American Sim Racing Network. Trey Wright and Caleb Rose bringing you into the post-race show here on the NASRN. And before we get into our post-race interviews, we're going to take a look at that insane last lap side-by-side finish one more time, starting on the back straightaway. And this was a finish for the ages, Caleb. Thought Ike was going to get there down the low side. He pinned it down, but just barely. Being edged out by his teammate. We'll rewind it to see the exact margin of victory between those two. 39 one-thousandths of a second by about maybe a well and a half. Maybe all the way up to the exhaust port. Between the two Millennium Autosport Mazdas, Caleb, it doesn't get any closer than that. And that's the second time in a row here at Paris that we have had a a door-to-door battle for the race win in a photo finish.
Definitely quite the way to bookend the Season 8 of the Fuel Grand National Series. Definitely a very, very fun race. Saw a lot of great racing all through that. Had definitely a lot of interesting strategy come to play in that race. And like I said, to top it all off, a fantastic finish there between Focusato and Ike Durbin. I thought Durbin definitely would probably get there as well. They're off a turn at number 4. Had a great run there to the inside, kind of backed up there leading up to the white flag. But Focusato just barely had enough nose in that thing to edge him out. So yeah, great stuff there for Vincenzo Focusato. It's going to be interesting to see how the points and everything do shake out after everything is said and done. But regardless of the fact, it's been a fun night of competition here from Paris. And like I said, a great way to close out Season 8 of the Fuel Grand National Series. And hey, just the more to look forward to once we do get to Season 9 here in just about a month's time or so.
I think May 13th is going to be our next race here. So about 3 weeks' time, that's going to be the All-Star race from Dover. Already, things are clicking by, and we'll see who the entries for the All-Star race are going to be. But we do have a couple of things confirmed. Of course, we had it confirmed ever since last week that Apollo Hyde was mathematically going to win the championship here tonight. And we do have our Rookie of the Year that we're going to talk to. The driver who finished in 4th, that was up at the front a lot here tonight. And the driver of the other Millennium Autosports automobile, or the other Marvelous Racing automobile, I should say. Your Rookie of the Year for season number 8, Taylor Stolworthy. You got a copy of us here in the broadcast booth?
Yes, I do.
Well, you know from last time we raced here in the Fuel Racing League at the Autodrome de Paris that this is about as fictional of an Atlanta Superspeedway as you can get. You were pretty much in the throttle the entire time, and you had happy memories, pleasant memories from winning the Superspeedway Series Championship all the way a couple months ago. But coming into tonight, you're out of the championship battle, but you're in that battle with Emi Schizzato for that 3rd spot in the championship. You're coming into tonight with not a whole lot on the line. Yeah, what was the mindset for you guys, both you and Apollo, knowing that she had locked up the championship and you guys were just racing out here to have a good time?
Yeah, I was just racing. I mean, I didn't really care that much about spots in the championship points. At that stage of the season, it's just try out to go out there, have a clean race, have a fun race, and, I feel very comfortable at super speedways. So the goal was to finish high, and would have liked a straighten out podium, but barely lost out in the end. Really good battling in that final 15-lap stint up front.
Yeah, and this was just some great battling all the way top to bottom, but we had about a 40-lap run to the end there. I think, was it about 40 to 45-lap run right to the end there of just pure green flag racing, and we saw right with about 20 laps to go, the handling completely go away from these cars. What was it like trying to drive these cars out there, which is pretty much tires screaming for mercy, begging to be changed, and you guys out there skating around like you're on ice skates?
I actually felt pretty good on that last stint. I was talking with Vincenzo a bit. Vincenzo's tires were a couple laps away from hitting that fall off point. Mine still felt pretty good. I was just a little slower as a whole throughout the race compared to some of the leaders, but uh, it was fun. Definitely the cars were. It was at first a little bit tighter than the super speedway cars at this track in terms of how they were running, but once I made a couple tweaks to the setup pre-race, it really felt like I could hang in the groove a bit more. I like a car that bottoms out a lot, and it was doing it. Um, but yeah, there was a lot of. It was very interesting, just kind of going back and forth from how the cars would sometimes feel, and I'm glad that the restarts didn't feel too bad because these tires had a very big tendency to be very cold at the start, where you could obviously spin, but I actually felt had really good starts, so I'm happy about that.
And of course, you finishing your inaugural season in the Fuel Grand National Series as the Rookie of the Year. Reflecting over this season, you were a little bit struggling a little bit on the asphalts, but then the dirt was really your specialty. But how do you think you've really developed as a driver, especially being under the wing of Apollo High, the series champion? And what are you looking forward to coming here in the next couple weeks for season 9?
Yeah, the goal is just kind of keep up a fresh slate, keep things clean whenever possible. I don't know how many races I'll be active for again, because I did think I have one or so provisional this time around with GNS. So there might be another or so, but obviously just come out there every week, race clean, race hard, and hopefully make it back to victory lane. Would love to make up for, I believe it was Canadiaga with that last lap overtake. Still stings to this day, but doesn't really sting that much. But obviously, just keep growing, keep doing better, and keep having fun.
And that's all it's what about here. That's all it's what about. That is all what it is about here in the Fuel Racing League, is just having fun and making sure that you're able to get the job done here, and just having fun, having a blast, and really hounding in your craft is what we are all about here in the Fuel Racing League. Caleb, you got anything for our Rookie of the Year?
I definitely have to say that was quite the season here for season 8 of the Field Grand National Series. Definitely have to give you a lot of credit there for winning a Rookie of the Year. Absolutely spectacular performances this season, and wish you nothing but the best of luck in season 9. Hopefully, I'll see you in victory lane a couple times. We'll have to wait and see how it all ends up panning out. But hey, best of luck in season 9, and great work here in season 8.
Definitely got to wait and see. Appreciate it.
Season 9 just around the corner, and one season under your belt. We'll see you ahead in season 9, but before we'll let you on the way for the quote-unquote off-season we've got here for the next 3 weeks, we'll give you the floor to thank any sponsors you want. If there's anybody you want to shout out here on the NASRN for the Rookie of season number 8, Taylor Stolworthy, the floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, firstly, thanks to the sponsors. Most of them will be returning, even if it is with a different or even brand new number for next season. Still making that final decision on whether I flip back to the 90 or if I try something new. Big thanks to my teammate Apollo. What a season from her. I mean, what a championship and a podium streak that is unbelievable to close out the season. Need I say more? Congrats to Vincenzo. Great drive to end the season. Congrats to Ike as well. Shout out to Drew, Dunn, Keon, Crystal, a lot of the great rivals throughout the season. Had a lot of fun races, and looking forward to season 9.
We are as well, and season 9 just around the corner, like we were saying. But Taylor, thank you so much for coming on post-race to talk a little bit track here as the Rookie of the Year, and we'll see you for your sophomore season just around the corner here.
See you then.
User
That
was
was
moved
Taylor
out of your
Stolworthy,
channel.
driver of the number 1 Texaco Javelin Dodge Charger for Marvelous Racing. And it's time to bring in the boss lady of this 2-car operation.
User was
Awesome
moved to
season.
your channel.
Driver and the champion with a 3rd place finisher here tonight. Apollo Hyde, you got a copy of us here in the broadcast booth?
I certainly do, Trey.
Well, your podium streak, incredibly, is going to reach yet another mark here tonight with a 3rd place run at an incredibly wild track. And you are officially the champion of season number 8 of the Fuel Grand National Series. First and foremost, congratulations on finally getting that championship back where it belongs over with the Marvelous Racing Group.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're really happy to be back on top here in the Fuel GNS series. This has really been the best season that I've been able to put through ever since coming back to sim racing in 2022. Just everything clicked for us the entire year. We didn't have a single miss all year long. Every single car that we brought was exactly where we needed it to be, and we just needed to convert that into wins, and we did. So that was super awesome. The Marvelous Racing Squad has been phenomenal. Obviously, we have our Rookie of the Year, Taylor Stallworthy, as well, being able to join us when he's able to race with us. And it's always a joy to have him out there on the track with us. And man, I really got to give it over to Ike and Vincenzo as well. They are always really difficult to beat at these big tracks. And when those two get together, I mean, you know that those two are going to be absolutely flying. We try to gang up on them there with about 2.5 laps to go, but Taylor ended up getting a little loose on the inside, and I had to go to the inside of him or wipe him out. So that's a little unfortunate, but it does get us the third position to keep the podium streak alive. And I mean, that's a podium every single race for the season. First time I've ever done that in any racing league I've ever been a part of ever, and I've been doing this stuff for 15 years. So yeah, I'm over the moon with our performance right now.
Well, you definitely deserve to be, and like we said, that podium streak pretty much stretching wire to wire throughout the season, and of course, clinching the championship a race early with 4 wins on the year, and really just from a cover to cover, a fantastic season like you were talking about. But zeroing in on tonight's race, and particularly that last run at the end, we saw everybody jockeying out of position. We saw the tire wear really nearing that fall off point where Caleb and I were saying, okay, this is where drivers are really starting to lose a little bit of grip. The tires are getting really greasy. And then that final 5-lap run where you guys were pretty much tandem drafting, early 2010 style, where you were talking about you and Taylor were trying to work together and trying to gang up on the Millennium Autosport guys, and just walk us through the last little laps there, where you were like, you know what, I got nothing to lose. Let's just have some fun.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it came down to. Once we took those 2 tires, and we got out of pit road, and we got out of pit road pretty good. We had a 2-second jump on Vincenzo and Stolz there, so I thought that we were going to be in a pretty good position. However, I ended up seeing that Ike and Stallhood also ended up catching our draft. What I thought was only going to be a 3-car race and hopefully a Marvelous 1-2 was going to become much more difficult when I saw that the 86 was also able to get their draft. I was a little bit disappointed in that. Obviously, there's not much that we could do about that, but once everyone caught up to me, I knew it was going to be a really tall task to keep everyone behind me. I figured it wasn't going to happen, and we got shuffled all the way back to the end of that pack there. And our Subaru BRZ was just incredible out there, even on 2 tires, which everyone took 2 tires there on that last stop. Even on 2 tires, we didn't have any handling issues. We didn't have any issues holding the bottom at all. I think we ran a little bit higher downforce than what Ike, Vincenzo, and Tyler would have been running. So I think that probably gave them a bit of an advantage on a straight line. We weren't able to catch any of those 3 cars in a straight line, but once the tires started to wear in the corners, and you would notice that they would always shift up their lane about a half a car width, maybe even a full car width through the corner, and I was able to keep that thing right down on the white line no matter what. This is the same exact car that we won with at Texas 2015 last year, which was one of my most dominant wins ever in fuel. So I knew that this car was super fast, and I gave the same car to Taylor Stallworthy as well, and we converted it, I think, to the best of our ability.
Well, you definitely did. You guys running 3rd and 4th and up towards the front of the field pretty much all night long. But looking back at this entire season, you winning the opening 2 races of the year and then falling into a little bit of a lull for your standards, running 2nd and 3rd, running at the front of the field for a lot of these races, but not being able to win. How do you really fight through that adversity knowing, hey, I've got a race-winning car, and have been able to get some solid points finishes, but how do you try to fight through and settle down and try to win some of these races here?
Honestly, with me, Trey, it's just about letting the race come to me anymore. I don't try to push my car. I don't try to ask too much out of my car. I know what my going into these races, I know what my car is capable of, and if somebody's capable of better than that, then so be it. They're just better than me that day. I don't try to overstep my car because that's what starts leading to inconsistencies. And if that means finishing second 5 weeks in a row, then so be it. We'll finish second 5 weeks in a row. We don't like doing that. Obviously, we would prefer to win, but I don't want to cause undue incidents, obviously. So we learned a lot this season as well with all of the races that we ended up finishing second, especially any race where it was a short run. We believe that we've figured out what to do on these short runs going forward. We'll see if our strategy adjustment ends up working out in the future. We haven't had a really good test of that yet. We sort of had it at Rockingham, but that car was never set up for a short run. Anyways, that car just was not anywhere close to fast. So we'll see what happens next season. I'm looking forward to it, and I think that we are going to have a really good season 9 for Marvelous.
I think we guys definitely are, and real quick before we'll like Caleb ask you a couple questions here. Looking ahead to the season 9 schedule, another very robust and just robust schedule with a lot of different challenges. You've got Bent Twig on there. You've got, I think, a handful of road courses. You've got a street course in Long Beach. What are you looking forward to next week in Season 9 where you're like, okay, I kind of don't want to really run there? And what are you really looking forward to in this title defense season?
Well, I don't think that there is a single track on this schedule that I'm not looking forward to. I'm not gonna lie. Long Beach is probably the track that I'm dreading the most. Just because I'm not good at street courses. If you take a look at my finishes last year, my worst finish came at the Chicago street course. Probably won't do much better at Long Beach. So we're not looking forward to the street course. But everything else here, I mean, Dover is one of my favorite tracks. Obviously, we have the Papyrus version of Charlotte, which me, Vincenzo, and Ike, it was Tate, actually, I believe that was in third. We were all under a blanket coming to the line. We actually made contact coming off of turn number 4. So that was a crazy race. Nashville is... I don't remember if that's the super speedway or the short track, but either which way, I feel pretty good about it. Michigan's a race we could have won last year. Pocono, that's my home track, so I'm going to be going all out for that. Chicagoland, we got that Kansas setup that worked really well. Anchorage, that's a track that I constructed myself, and I love racing at that. It is the best super speedway of all time. North Wilkesboro, it's going to be a bit of a wild card, but we've got a good setup for those flat tracks. Indianapolis, my money, and then Iowa, a wild card, probably one of my worst tracks, but I've historically done well at tracks like Iowa, so we'll see.
Well, we shall see, and we'll see how the cards fall next season. But Caleb, you got anything for our third place finisher as well as our champion?
Definitely, first and foremost, it's like wasn't there to do it at Kansas. Congratulations on winning the Season 8 Fuel Grand National Series Championship. Definitely have to give you a lot of credit for that season, going through all those trials and tribulations that you faced in all those different races. So congratulations on overcoming all that to a championship season. And it's going to be exciting to see what you can do in Season 9. Can't wait to see how it all ends up shaking out. But overall, fantastic race out there today, and best of luck heading into Season 9 of the Fuel Grand National Series. Can't wait to see what you accomplish.
I can't wait to see it either, Caleb. I think it's going to be a good season for us.
And we can't wait either. We can't wait 3 weeks. We want this John now, but gotta wait we gotta wait a little bit here, but congratulations to you on winning your second championship, if I'm not mistaken.
Third.
Second or third championship. Third
It's the
championship.
third championship.
Here at the Fuel Grand National Series in Apollo. You, with the amount of podium finishes that you've got so far, you absolutely know the drill. So we're going to give you the floor here to thank anybody you want here on the NASRN. Season 8 champion, Apollo High, the floor is yours.
Oh, absolutely, because we got one of the best parties in the spring coming up over at Castle Point Anime Convention this weekend in the Meadowlands Expo Center over there in Secaucus, New Jersey. On Saturday, I believe, is going to be the big idol show. I know the people running that. You're going to want to go out there and be a part of that if you're in the New York, New Jersey area. They are incredible. I highly recommend getting a badge to the anime convention in general. I won't be able to make it because I've got a previous commitment to get to this weekend, so I can't get there. But I know like 30 people that are going to this thing, and it's one of the bigger events of the calendar when it pertains to my hobby. So if you're ever interested in checking out some indie artists and you want to see some awesome music, check out Castle Point Anime Convention.
Well, we definitely will have to do that, and that's going to be fun. Hey, that's my neck of the woods as well, so we'll have to definitely check that out. But congratulations to you, Apollo, on a third-place run in a wild race here tonight at Paris, and congratulations on your third championship in the Grand National level. We'll see you here in a couple of weeks for the Sportsman when we kick things back up on coverage in a week and a half, if I'm not mistaken. And on May 13th, we'll see you guys back in a Grand National car here on the NASRN. We'll see you then.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That was Apollo High, driver of the number 100 Bat Fruit 100% Orange Juice Subaru for Marvelous Racing, your winner of the 2020 or the Season 8 Fuel Racing League Grand National Division Championship. A third-place finisher here tonight. We'll now get to the other half of that 39 1/1000ths of a second margin between Ike Durbin and Vincenzo Focusato. We'll talk with the other side of that driver of that number 86 Devon Corporation Mazda. Ike Durbin, you got a copy of us here in the broadcast booth?
Yes, I do.
Well, you certainly had one of the most up and down races that we have seen in quite a while, from having to start the race in the pit lane to being tantalizingly close to getting the win here tonight. Just walk us through really this race from start to finish, from how you were able to really come back from that early setback.
Yeah, it was frustrating. I was already planning on hanging in the back. I didn't set a qualifying time. I just kind of wanted to save tires and see where that would leave me at the end of the first run. And then having my game crash and putting me immediately laps down was pretty frustrating. I got really lucky that a caution came out, because I've had instances like that multiple times where I've fallen out or had some crazy thing happen, and then there's just no caution the rest of the race. Yeah, once that caution came out and put me back on the lead lap, I felt a little better. Getting through the field was a little nerve-wracking, because holding the car on the bottom felt kind of sketchy at times, especially with so many other cars around. But I don't know, I was able to do it, hang on to the pack. The lead pack before that set of stops. It felt nice. It was a very up and down day, but yeah, I definitely did not expect the finish, though. That was a very nice surprise.
It definitely was, and you were talking about just how up and down your day was, and it was kind of a microcosm of your season overall, where it's been kind of up and down. You had a lot of highs and quite a few lows as well. You know, how would you really describe your 8th season here of Fuel Grand National level competition, and what are you really looking forward to here in Season 9?
I think my season, for me anyway, I've been really disappointed with myself, especially like the past month and a half. I feel like Fuel Motorsports Park and Canandaigua were two races I have no excuse to not have finished at least top 2. I think Fuel Motorsports Park, Apollo and I were in a league of our own. She was still a little faster than I was, but I threw that one away by forgetting how to drive the track after the first pit stop. And then Canandaigua, I think was too careful around other cars for too long. Those races in particular have had me pretty frustrated. And then the other surrounding races didn't go as planned either. Compared to how the season started, I've been pretty frustrated with myself. So it was nice to bounce back today and have a good finish. Probably a better finish than I thought I'd get. So very nice. I don't know that I have any expectations for season 9. I'm particularly looking forward to the music theme race at Nashville. I don't know if I'm going to reuse my car from last year or come up with something new for that race. And then I'm really excited for Bent Twig. It's a track I've raced at one other time, but it's crazy. I think it'll be pretty chaotic and fun to watch, fun to be a part of, for sure. And Indianapolis, because that's my home track. I ran well there last year, so I'm really hoping that one turns out well also.
Yeah, plenty of diversity on this upcoming schedule, and we'll look forward to how everybody is going to be able to race it. But what can you really say about Vincenzo really taking you under his wing over these last couple of seasons and the whole Millennium Autosport camp as a whole? How you guys have really been gelling together. Of course, you and Vincenzo have really been the brunt of this 4-car program with Rich Roy and Andrew Estrada being here and there whenever they can. But how would you say you guys have really gelled as a program, and what are you guys looking to do to improve to try to make a run at this championship next year?
Yeah, I mean, being part of the team has been wonderful. Vincenzo and I have been best friends for over a decade at this point. So working with him is nothing new for me, but I don't know, building more of a, not even building more of a community, because like we've known Rich for a long time. He's a very good friend. Andrew's one of Vincenzo's real life friends. But just all the people we get to work together with has made it feel a lot more like a small community within the field community. It's helped out a lot because we now have multiple heads to put together for setups and things like that. I feel like that's helped me out a lot. It's pushed me forward a little bit, even though my results haven't really shown it this season. It's been nice to have people to lean on when I'm having a bad week or something, need some help getting into the race weekend or whatever. And I don't foresee that changing in the future. Yeah, I think it'll only get better going forward. As to how we run for the championship, all I can do is help Vince where I can. I think he has the better shot at giving Apollo a run for her money. He nearly won the championship in, I think, season 6 over her. That was a close one. Yeah, I just hope we continue to improve and we can get somebody a championship sooner than later.
We're hoping to see you guys try to run for making the title, or try to make a run for the title next year in season 9. But overall, just for you guys, just trying to bounce back after a less than desirable season. And hey, you know what they say? They say that the dawn is always darkest before the, or the sky is always darkest before the dawn. So got faith that you guys will definitely turn things around here going into season number 9. But Caleb, you got anything for a runner-up finisher here tonight, and a great bounce-back race for you guys?
Yeah, it was definitely a fantastic bounce back race tonight, considering how it started out. after falling out of the server early. Definitely got to give you a lot of credit for that bounce back, and that was honestly a really fun race and a really fun finish there. Definitely have to give you your props on to that. I thought for a second there you'd get there, but still great result there. It's nice to talk to you up here in the booth as well. And I got season 9 on the horizon. Can't wait to see how it ends up shaking out for you.
Yeah, thank you. It's nice to be up here. I need to work to make this a more regular occurrence.
Yeah, we definitely love having you up here, Ike, and it's a privilege to talk with all you guys post race. But we'll give you the floor to shout out anybody you want here on the NESRN. If there's anybody you want to, any sponsors you want to thank, runner-up finisher here tonight, Ike Durbin, the floor is yours.
Yeah, as always, I just want to thank everybody that races here at Fuel for making it such a great community. It's been amazing seeing the league become more and more competitive. We have a higher regular car count, I think, than we did at this time last year. As always, all my close friends, I could name half the server in that list. I wish any sponsors were actually paying me, but Dark Matter Coffee for being my go-to coffee roaster, being on my car every week. I was happy to give Devon Corporation a one-off Pokemon theme sponsor, my best ever Fuel GNS finish. So, yeah, I guess that's about it. And thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for being on. It's the on-track product that helps us make our jobs a lot easier, and especially when you guys put on one hell of a show here like this. But congratulations, Ike, for getting a second place run here, and things are definitely going to start turning around coming back in Season 9. I can definitely feel it for y'all.
Alrighty, thank you.
That was Ike Durbin, driver of the number 86 Devon Corporation Mazda for Millennium Autosport. On the other side of that 39 1,000ths of a second victory. So now going to the other side, the driver getting his second win of the season. Driver of that Momo Mazda number 37 machine, the boss man from Millennium Autosport, Vincenzo Focusata. You got a copy of us here in the broadcast booth?
Loud and clear, Trey.
Well, it has certainly been a cat and mouse season between you and Apollo Hyde throughout this entire 11 race run. Her book ending the season with a couple of wins in the first 2 races, and then the semi-penultimate and penultimate races of the season. But you're able to get your first asphalt win since Daytona back in season number 6, if I'm not mistaken. First and foremost, congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you so much. That was a great race. I was having a ball out there, and I don't think I ever got the lead until really late, so I wasn't really thinking that was my race to win, but Paris is such a fun track. I was having a great time, and I'm really happy that we finally got to go here in open setup cars. We've done the races here the last 2 winters with the fixed setup cars, and I was just thinking every time that this would be even better if we could sort of tune them up, loosen them up, and see how it goes. So yeah, I'm really glad that we got to wrap up the season here. It was a great time.
It definitely was, and going into this race with your prior experience at this track, of course, you were one of the 3 drivers fighting for that championship for the Fuel Super Speedway Series, and then coming into today, how are you able to use that prior experience over the last 2 winters on the fixed setup side of things to really dial in your car and really just tune it up, like you were saying, trying to make it as shaken down as possible coming into this season finale?
The big thing for tonight is that I'm sure you've probably already heard this from the other 3 who went before me, but this track is so small as far as super speedways go that we're only right on the limit of being able to make the corners at full throttle. So the moment the right front tire starts to wear a little bit, you start to lose that ability, and you guys watched it all night long. You start to lose your ability to stick the car down in the bottom and stay there. So I was trying to make the back end free, make the back end work more, take some load off those right front tires, just off the right front tire, just make it so that its ability to drive down on the bottom last as far into the run as possible. And I think we all did a really good job because I feel like I succeeded at that. I was able to stay down low pretty well even at the end, and everybody else was still right down there with me. So I think everybody else achieved the same. But setup wise, um, that was the approach in terms of experience from the track. Nothing else really changed. Just try to take care of the right front, just like the winter races, and try to leave space because when it's so tight, when it's so easy to lose grip, you want to leave more space. You want to leave a bigger margin of error in case the car next to you doesn't quite stick the way they want it to. So just try and make sure you make it all the way to the end and in one piece, and see where you end up.
Yeah, and that fight right at the end there between you and Ike coming right down to the wire, 39 one-thousandths of a second, separating the two of you guys, giving Millennium Autosport a 1-2 finish here for the first time this season. But we were talking a little bit with Ike and how he was lamenting a little bit on the struggles that he had personally and how you guys were overall collectively just trying to get things going here in season number 9. Looking ahead to next season, what are you guys expecting as an organization? Going into this third season, I think third or fourth season as a whole group of you guys. You've got Ike Durbin, you've got Rich Roy coming in when he can, you've got yourself, and of course Andrew Estrada being that development driver. With how diverse and robust this upcoming schedule is, what are you guys looking forward to as a unit, and what are you looking forward to personally as a driver trying to fight this wrestle this championship away from Apollo Hyde?
Um, to be honest, I'm not. I haven't quite thought that far ahead. Been too uh, preoccupied trying to get everything done one race at a time. Just been trying to approach it one race at a time. So over the summer, just gonna take a break. We've had a long 11 weeks. Just gonna take a breather, come back ready. Come back ready for a new season in about a month's time, and just get back into that same approach, one race at a time. It's really uh, not sure if this is quite the right word. It's a really fulfilling process, going through uh, talking to each other about different setup philosophies and things that we try on our own as the start time for practice approaches, and seeing what works and what doesn't, and um, learning more and more every time what sorts of things you might need to tailor to your own liking as you sort of develop a greater understanding of that. Um, a lot of open setup is based a lot more on feel than outright knowledge. At least to me. At least to me. Maybe I shouldn't speak for everybody. Maybe other people actually do have a lot of working knowledge, and that's why they're so fast. But for me, it's a lot of feel, and it just slowly. Uh, you just kind of try and slowly build that feel over time and the confidence with it. And yeah, I've talked way off track from your original question. I'm really looking forward to the summer. We got a lot of awesome tracks. We got Michigan coming up. We got Bent Twig. We got Long Beach. Just got back from the Long Beach Grand Prix this weekend. That was an awesome time. Looking forward to racing there in GNS. That's going to be a kick butt. Um, uh, Forgetting the others off the top of my head, I'd have to go back and look at the schedule, but I'm really excited for it. It was a great spring. It's going to be a great summer.
It definitely is going to be an incredible summer coming up here with, like we were talking about, just how diverse this upcoming schedule is. Like you were talking about, we got a lot of street courses. Bent Twig is Bent Twig. I don't know. I don't know why Tyler took that seriously when I jokingly suggested we should race there. But overall, we've got, like we said, we had Long Beach. We've got Indianapolis, Iowa. So many fun tracks coming up here over this next couple months or so, gearing up as we gear up for season number 9 already. But Caleb, you got anything for our race winner and our runner-up in the championship?
Ooh, man, what a race that was, and what a season this was, and what a season you had as well. I was kind of talking with Trey earlier. You definitely had quite the storybook season, from kicking things off by clearing the grandstands at Old Atlanta to winning the season finale by just the skin of your teeth. That was definitely quite the adventurous season, but definitely have to give you a lot of credit for the season that you did have, the wins you got, and coming up second in the point standings. Definitely nothing to scoff at there. So congratulations on the season, and cannot wait to see what you do next time out, my man.
Yeah, appreciate it, Caleb. It means a lot. The season was very up and down, but it was in the peaks and the troughs, it was fun the whole way through. So NR, all you need in NR is a group of people who race hard, and uh, all you need to have a good time in NR is other people who also want to have a good time. That's exactly what we've got here in Fuel. It's such a wonderful place, and we appreciate you and Trey both being a part of it too. Thanks for being a part of making this such a fun season.
It's a pleasure to be here, and you guys are the ones that put on the product. We're just the one that calls it. But like you were saying, the ups into the grandstands and the downs coming down to the wire, all the way throughout this incredible season 8, and you're able to have the last laugh, at least on track, and get the job done here at Paris. But Vincenzo, you know the score. We'll give you the floor to thank anybody you want. If there's any sponsors you want to shout out for one final time this season, our race winner here at the Autodrome de Paris, Vincenzo Focasato. The floor is yours, my man.
Yeah, I'm actually going to start off with a sponsor this time. Home backyard victory for the tire supplier. Got it done, a 1-2 for Michelin. They're based right outside Paris, so that was awesome. And the second time in a row we've done that. Tyler and his Michelin shod car won the race a couple months ago here, so that's really good stuff. And speaking of Tyler, thank you to Tyler, Apollo, and Ike, because they put time, they put effort, they always lend an open ear, and they're the reason that this exists and that we can all do this in the first place. The effort they put in is it's easy to see. It gets results. It's not lost on me or any of us, I hope. So thank you to the admins for making this such a great place to race, and literally every single person other than the 3 of them who were on track at any point. Whether you did 11 races or 1, we appreciate you coming out and joining us and putting on a good show, because I really enjoyed every single race this year. Thank you again to you two, just one more time, for being such professionals and giving us such an enjoyable product to go watch. And thank you to everybody who might be watching it, either live or catching up later. Thank you, Dad, for supporting me. It's meant a lot, even if this is just a video game. It's a lot of fun either way, and it's really cool to know that you've been supporting me all the while. So I hope you enjoyed tonight's race, and yeah, looking forward to the next ones to come. Thank you to everybody at home, Team EFR, all the rest of my family, whether they get to watch these or not, all my friends. Whew, there's just probably more people than I'm remembering. And yeah, I think I'm talking myself in circles at this point. I hope that's everyone I can think of offhand. Yeah, thank you all for such a wonderful season, making Wednesday night such a great time.
Wednesday night is always the night where you guys just put on one hell of a show, and what a way to go out here. Championship not really on the line, just playing out for fun, and you guys putting on a fantastic race here tonight, and you ending up in victory lane for the final time here in season number 8 and getting that second win of the season. Congratulations, Vincenzo, on a 2-win season, and we'll see you next season, starting off with the All-Star race at Dover. We'll see you in the summer here for season 9.
Gonna jam in one more congratulations to Apollo winning the championship. Trophy number 3. Great job, Apollo. And thank you to Ike for working so well with me tonight and having an awesome run to the finish. Okay, I'm done now. Thank you, Trey. Thank you, Caleb. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so much, dude.
Yep, take care.
User was moved
That was
out of your
Vincenzo
channel.
Focasato, driver of the number 37 Momo Michelin Mazda. Your winner here of tonight's 232-kilometer race, the Lumiose City 232K, I should say. It's late. It's already 11 o'clock. I've been up since 6 a.m., so we're going to wrap things up here relatively shortly, relatively soon, as there is the gap once again between the 37 and the 86 here coming out of an incredible race here tonight. Caleb, your final thoughts on this race before we'll get out of Dodge.
Like I said, definitely quite the way to close out what has been a spectacular season of competition here in the Fuel Grand National Series. Saw a lot of great racing all night long. Like I said, a lot of strategy there just to make things interesting, and a fantastic finish to officially close what has been a spectacular season of competition. And yeah, it's definitely been really, really fun to see how this season has played out from start to photo finish. And it's been really, really fun to share the ride here as the co-com with you. It's been a lot of fun, and like I said, I cannot wait to see what Season 9 will have in store. Like we were talking about the schedule earlier on, definitely sounds very intriguing. Like I said, a lot of diversity on that schedule, so it's going to be interesting to see how it does play out. But I am definitely excited to see how it does all end up shaking out, and don't got to wait too much longer either.
No, we don't. As we take a look at the Season 9 schedule here, you got Dover coming up. That's going to be the All-Star race, like we said. That's going to kick off on May 13th. We finally get a points-paying race in about a month's time as we go to the Charlotte Motor Speedway on May 20th. And then on May 27th, it's the band race from the Nashville Super Speedway. And I'm looking forward to that race. I'm looking forward to that week as well. We've got the band race from Nashville on that Wednesday. We've got Talladega for sportsmen on that Friday night. And then the next day, my girlfriend's sister's getting married. So a shout out to Victoria and Jesus for getting married about a month and a week from today. That's incredible that that's already a month and a week from today. So I wanted to shout those two out. And then we got Michigan, Pocono. You've got your run-of-the-mills speedway tracks on the 3rd and 10th. We go to Long Beach, then we go to Bent Twig, 2 interesting tracks 2 weeks in a row, and then Chicagoland, Anchorage, North Wilkesboro, Indianapolis, and Iowa to round out all the races in that regard. And taking a look at some of the upcoming broadcasts we've got here on the NASRN as well, we go down to Talladega this Saturday for the NR2003 Mission Barbecue Cup Series coverage. That's going to be a 1 o'clock Eastern Daylight offline live race down in Talladega. Then we're going to have our second fast race. It's going to be a tape-delayed race on Monday night. That's going to be at 8 o'clock Eastern. Also for the legendary Talladega Super Speedway, we return to the Fuel Sportsman Series from ABQ at the Albuquerque Super Speedway. That's going to be at 9:50 Eastern Time. That's going to be on May 1st. Then the day after that, we've got more NBCS action. We've got the Texas World Speedway. Just recorded that right before we went live. That was an absolute banger of a race. We've got a lot of offline stuff as well. We got a ton of NBCS races. We've got our 5th race of the season for the Flowmaster Grand Touring Championship from the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And it is just a chock full of action here on the North American Sim Racing Network. And we are so happy to have everybody along for the ride here throughout this entire 2026 run. It's hard to believe whether we're already about a third of the way through the season, Kayla, through the year. April is just about to end in about a week. We're going to have May coming up. It is insane, and it's insane. We've already put 11 races in the books here for the Fuel Grand National Series. But taking a look at the top-down results from the final race of the season, the Lumiose City 232K here at the Autodrome de Paris. Vincenzo Focasato leads 9 laps en route to his 2nd win of the season. So he gets the job done here by 39 1/1000ths of a second over Ike Durbin to give Millennium Autosport a 1-2 finish to round out this 8th season. Apollo High, your champion, continues that podium streak with a 3rd place finish. Your rookie of the season, Taylor Stolworthy, finished in 4th, and Tyler Stallhood, the boss man himself, finished in 5th, rounding out the top 5. Emmy Schizzato, Kenny Campos, Grant Warren, Trent Togger round out the top 9. They were the only cars that were the remaining cars that were on the lead lap. Rich Roy caboosed the top 10, 1 lap down. Connor Edwards was 11th. He was also off the lead lap. Crystal Bennett, Rafaela Sorensen, and R.J. Bishop were the 3 cars out of the 14-car field that failed to finish the race here tonight. But that is going to do it. Here from the Autodrome de Paris, congratulations once again to Vincenzo Focasato for winning the Lumiose City 232K, and congratulations to Apollo Hyde for winning the Season 8 championship for the Fuel Grand National Series. Wednesday night, we're back on the dirt. Wednesday night, we're not back on the dirt for Fuel Grand National. We gotta wait all the way until next Monday, next Friday night for another fuel race where we got the Albuquerque Speedway kicking off right back into the coverage of the Fuel Sportsman Series right here at 9:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on your home for the Fuel Racing League, the North American Sim Racing Network. But on behalf of Tyler Stolhood, Apollo Hyde, and my broadcast partner Caleb Rose, my name is Trey Wright saying so long from Autodrome de Paris here on your home for the Fuel Racing League, the North American Sim Racing Network. Have a good one.